Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Pennsylvania High School Football Podcast. I'm Brian Linder. I'm here with Evan Wheaton. Evan, what's up, my man?
What it do, baby?
Great audio, Linder. I have a truck zooming by in the background. I'm basically sitting outside, so I'm sure our producer Megan will love that. I just had like a big diesel or something to fly by. Anyway, Rymir Vaughn. What's going on?
How you doing, Brian?
How am I doing? You know how I'm doing, man.
You said I don't know.
You know how I'm doing.
Oh,
Just waiting.
You know what Dan Sostek says. I'll beat something to death, man. You know, you still haven't given me my rematch. We're sitting here. I'm salty. That's how I'm doing.
Listen, it's not even going to happen this week. It's not even going to happen.
Just riding around in Ultima with my win, and then you all my win, not trying to give me a rematch, man.
It's a Civic.
Oh, I thought it was Ultima.
Beating Brian Linder in college football and then buying a car. I mean, if that isn't like the most glow-up flex I've ever seen in my life.
Great. It was a great weekend.
Yeah, it's got to be an all-timer.
You got to give a man a shot to get his win back. Anyway, now you guys know their voices when you hear them speak. If you listen to the podcast, long-time listener like Carolyn Fortney or Cumberland Valley coach Josh Oswalt, you already know these guys. But if you're new, now you know their voices. We're going to jump into it. Had some news breaking today. Evan wrote up some news. Evan, tell them what you got, man.
Yeah, ESPN's updated 300 rankings are out. It's for top 300 prospects in the class of 2025. Had about 12 of them from Pennsylvania and 2 of them from right here in the Mid-Penn Conference. So figured starting off with it wasn't too great for Pennsylvania, though. Out of 12 prospects, 9 of them actually moved down in the rankings. There was one newcomer. Let me pull it up here. There was one newcomer, Bradley Gompers, 276. He's a new entrant. But other than that, there were only 2 high school football players in Pennsylvania who actually moved up in the rankings. Matt Zollers, quarterback out of Springford, moved up from 95 to 92, 3 spots, despite a season-ending injury. And then Andrew Olesh, he skyrocketed 28 spots, 106 to 78. Brian, I know you watch a lot of film. Your thoughts on Andrew Olesh?
I actually haven't watched a ton of him, but he is a big body tight end. He's athletic. I know that. And he's a Michigan commit, right?
Yep.
Michigan commit.
Sounds like a Michigan tight end.
Yeah. You know, so when Michigan's coming out here and going after a kid, that says something. So, and I know he's been moving up. I mean, I think some of them actually have him now. Some other sites, I think, actually have him as the top prospect in Pennsylvania. So
ESPN still has Zaire Mathis as a top prospect. And, these rankings are all different for, all sorts of outlets. Zaire Mathis, defensive end out of Imhotep Charter. I went down to Baltimore to see that guy. 2 Mid-Penn guys. You got Lex Cyrus. He went down from 285 to 291. He's a Susquehanna Township wide receiver, 4-star South Carolina commit. And then Stone Saunders actually 1 spot ahead of him, but he went down from 282 to 290. Kentucky commit, broke Pennsylvania's all-time passing touchdown records this season. And let's see, I have his total right here. He's 27 touchdown passes to 5 interceptions this season. McDevitt, obviously a big one at State College with state title aspirations at 5A. So those are our 2 Mid-Penn guys. 12 from Pennsylvania total, and that's for just the class of 2025 and the ESPN 300. Those rankings came out today, and you can check it out on PennLive.
Yeah, Gompers is one that really interests me, guys. Listed at 6'5", 215. He's been a fast riser. He was on our, we do that long list of top performances from the state. He was on there this week, Pittsburgh Central Catholic kid, as a wide receiver. He had a really good game as a receiver. He's listed as an athlete over on 247.
And then on ESPN has him as a outside linebacker, so I guess he's just good at everything.
Yeah, well, he's big and athletic, long. You could see that maybe as a linebacker. I mean, 6'5", 215. You figure a kid that athletic, he could easily end up being 6'5", 250 after he's in a college weight room, be an edge type guy maybe. Again, haven't watched a ton of his film either. He's been a really fast rider. He's a Duke commit. I mean, wouldn't surprise me if some other schools maybe made a push here at the end, trying to beat out former Penn State guy Manny Fernandez there for his services. So
Yeah,
I don't know. You know, I like Lex a lot, like his speed. Matt Zollers kind of surprises me moving up a little bit, only because he's had that injury, which we need to check in with him. Like, I was an original Matt Zollers guy when he only had Old Dominion. And I know you watched him play a lot too. I was surprised he moved up a little bit considering the injury.
I've been following him since his sophomore year and his meteoric rise, and then obviously what happened to him this season, just a unfortunate situation with his ankle injury to cut his high school career short.
We need to get him on here. Matt, if you're listening, anybody listening to Matt, we need to get him on here. I think he talked to the Philadelphia Inquirer or something, just to check in with him and see how he's doing, man. So what else we got going on? Guys, we're going into the last week of the regular season. It's flown by. It's crazy, man, that we're here. Had a really good it's been a really fun year.
And it's going to be a fun regular season finale. We have a battle of undefeateds, Mechanicsburg at Shippensburg, both 9-0 for the outright division title. That's Friday. Of course, you have Bishop McDevitt going to State College, as I had said. And then also this week is, of course, Harrisburg and CD East. That game last year was a thriller. It's going to be different this time without Sean Lee Jr. or Jared Porter, but, it should still be an exciting matchup and one that a lot of folks are probably going to be looking forward to.
Yeah, and then we go into the postseason. I'm excited about this. We've had teams really make runs the last couple of years. We've been blessed here in Central PA to see some hyper local teams, which we cover all the games at the state championships. We really get guys. Rymir, you don't even know. Like, we got a new sports editor here, Austin. I'm excited to get with him, see what his ideas are, because I feel like we really already have blowout coverage of the state championships, particularly like last year, we had Steel High in it. Man, we covered them like they were Alabama. We had Evan out there riding around parades and stuff like that into the night. And
I had Jimmy Brown and Joe Hermit in my car. I was driving them around. Joe complimented me on my driving that night.
It was and we just really went all out, man, for some of the coverage and stuff we do. It's always a fun time. And now Austin always has really good ideas too, so it's going to be fun to see like what we come up with this year. But I'm excited for the hyperlocal tip just to see. I don't know that we have the team that, like, we knew last year Steel High was going to make it. We knew, we thought Harrisburg had a really good chance to make it, and they did have a really good chance to make it. We thought for sure Bishop McDevitt was going to make it, and they kind of got shocked by Dallas. This year, I'm excited to see what's going to happen because I think Bishop McDevitt's pretty good, guys. I think Harrisburg's pretty good, but hey, they have flaws. I mean, they lost to Cumberland Valley, right? I think State College is really good. Trinity, I think, can make a run. I think Trinity might be a district title threat, in a year where we didn't expect them to be good at all. I don't think any of us really thought they were going to be great. How you guys feel about this postseason? What are you excited about? I'm just excited to see who's going to kind of rise to the occasion, or if someone does, from Central PA.
I'm really excited about Trinity. I think we didn't have them with 7 wins this year, with how much turnover that program has. So they've done nothing but impress week in and week out. Obviously, lost in overtime thriller to Susquehanna Township, but I mean, that group just continues to impress. Milton Hershey's making a run as well. Susquehanna Township, obviously, some news with them having to forfeit a game with Boiling Springs, but you make the postseason, anything can happen. So I wouldn't look too deeply at that With I know it'll have seedings implications, but and then obviously you look at how talented that State College group is, and how they've continued to impress this season. And then you wonder about McDevitt, right, with the rest of the 5A field. Imatep moves up to 6A, and then Aliquip is still in 4A. But there's a lot of other guys ahead of McDevitt in state rankings. So 5A is going to be maybe more open than it's been. So it's exciting to see how things kind of fall together, and we got 1 week left to see how the dominoes fall.
Who's covering State College McDevitt for us? We know
that'll be Eric Epler taking.
And that's job. That's an exciting. I mean, that's a matchup you haven't seen a lot of recently. They haven't played since I've been here, I don't think, and that's going to be really interesting. I think because it's going to be it's going to tell us, state colleges look really good the past couple of weeks. It's going to tell us the state colleges who we thinking they might be, and it's going to also, I ain't going to reveal some about McDevitt. Yeah, I mean, State College is a 6A team. McDevitt's going to be playing in 5A. They're probably really still more of a 4A team, but they're going to be playing in 5A. It's going to tell us if McDevitt is ready too, because McDevitt has the talent. But there have been times too where, almost like Harrisburg, they've had like little lulls, right? Little, they haven't always looked overwhelming like maybe they have in the past. They played a tougher schedule. So I'll tell you what, guys, you brought up one of the teams, Susquehanna Township, got a lot of firepower, got some good players, and Rymir went out and got us a guest this week.
Yes.
Their guy, Torin Evans, their quarterback. He's our guest. Guys, let's get to Torin right now on the Pennsylvania High School Football Report.
Out of money, I know 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay you.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
All right, guys, we're here with our guest this week, Susquehanna Township quarterback Torin TD Evans. Torin, what's going on, my man? How you doing this week?
Pretty good. Excited for, our game this Friday. Should be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, who do you guys have Friday?
We have Milton Hershey, a team that we have not beaten in a little while. So
that's right. And let me ask you this, Torin. Milton Hershey started off the year and they weren't looking too good. But now they got this Logan Jerry kid in there at quarterback, and he's putting up some video game numbers. I'm sure you saw him some on film. Like I said, you guys haven't beaten him in a while. What are you guys expecting from this Milton Hershey team this time around?
As you said, they got a new quarterback that they have playing. He, like you said, he's been balling, putting up ridiculous numbers. I saw them and I was like, is this real? He's definitely put up some great numbers, but we're expecting a lot of run heavy for them. And then for us, we're just gonna stick to the game plan that we have. We've come in with every week, just really focusing on us and executing.
You guys are having a heck of a year. Obviously, there was some news this week. You guys obviously had to forfeit against Bowling Springs. And I know we're not going to ask too much about that because that's really above you. That's an administrative thing. And I know that's not good for you guys because you guys whipped up on them pretty good. But you guys are having a pretty good year, and you've got a good record. You've had a couple close games, too, where you've been tested. Where's this team at right now? How are you guys feeling? And what's the outlook for Susquehanna Township football, you think, the rest of the way here as we get ready to close out the regular season?
The news at first, obviously we all learned about it on Sunday. Definitely, got us all a little like, dang. But we're just focusing on our opponent now. It's just excited to finish out the year strong for the guys around us. Having a great year for our seniors, finishing up. Obviously, a 9-1 or a 9-1 record if we win Friday would have been a beautiful thing to see after going off of an 0-10 season 2 years ago, I believe, 3 years ago. Would have been awesome to see, but obviously things happen. So we're just focusing on what we can control and going out there on Friday and finishing off our season, hoping for the goals that, we set before the year.
and Evan and Rymir, I'll just make it clear. That really had nothing to do with Torin. That was above him. That was actually Hannah self-reported that they had used an ineligible player against Boiling Springs. But they won that game 61-10. And I think Torin threw for like 500 yards or something.
Yeah, it was a fun game, but unfortunate.
So it nothing to do with him. And the reason we have him on here, and I'll let Evan and Rymir get to it, is he's a young quarterback we've watched develop here in Central Pennsylvania. Now you're a junior, right, Torin?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been putting up numbers his whole career, but also improving on film, and that's the big thing. And he's gotten there, and I think he's having a really good year. Evan and Rymir, you guys have seen him, so I'll let you guys jump into the questions. But Hannah's got an exciting team, a lot of weapons around him, and he's doing a good job distributing it.
Torin, I mean, like you said, from an 0-10 season to what you guys have been able to do now, for the upperclassmen at Susquehanna Township, what's it been like trying to just kind of change that culture and show everyone that you have guys who can do this?
It's been awesome. I've been around Coach Wheaton and the Susquehanna Township in general, since I was probably 6 years old. Coach Wheaton, he'll tell you I've been going with the high school, the quarterback stuff they do since I was probably in 5th, 4th grade. And just knowing like how great of a person he is and a coach. And obviously an 0-10 year didn't represent him or anything, or didn't represent Susquehanna football. And that was my 8th grade year before I became a high school quarterback. And I definitely wanted to just change things around for the program and for him and obviously the seniors, because a lot of the guys I had actually played with the year before, or actually that was COVID, so 2 years before, I knew all of them really well, and I knew that they were all great ball players, and I wanted to be able to come up, me and some of my other players in my class, want to be able to come up and just win for them and give them what they all deserve, because they're all great people and great players.
Before I hand it off to Rymir, I gotta ask, have you recovered your sleep schedule after that overtime thriller against Trinity the other night?
Listen, that 9 a.m. wake up, 8:45 a.m. wake up the next day was a rough one. I probably didn't go to sleep that night till 1 o'clock. It was a long night. It was fun, but yeah, took me a couple of days, but I'm finally back on my normal sleep schedule, getting right.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that the Boiling Springs game just so happened to be the game that you guys had to forfeit, because that was the game that I saw you guys. That's when I first saw you guys. And honestly, if it wasn't for that game, I would have never been able to meet you, and really we wouldn't have had this podcast right now if I wasn't at that game. But just I want you to talk a little bit about like the weapons that you guys have, like Lex Cyrus, Rakai Seville, my fault, and Jared Kern. Like those guys are like legit players. They're really talented, and they make your job a lot easier and allow you to put up those numbers that you put up. How important are those guys, not only to your success, but the overall team success?
Definitely. I mean, those dudes, it's just so great because a lot of us, man, we've all played with each other since we were 8 years old, 9 years old. And a lot of the time, those guys had gotten outshined by, we had Messiah and Elias on our team. And those dudes were always kind of under the radar when they were on our team, because everyone knows Messiah and Elias. They're big-time players doing big-time things at Harrisburg right now. And it's great to see the guys that we have now that were on those teams and are still here. They're finally showing their shine and the talent that we've all seen, and it makes my life 10 times easier having, being able to have the run game established with Xavier and Rakai. And we got a young guy. His name's Junior Taiwan Gold. He's going to be a young guy that comes up next year that'll be definitely helpful in the run game as well. And like you said, receivers. I mean, we got receivers for days. We got Zakir. We got Jarrett, like you said. We got Lex, James Colston. We call him the glove.
I was going to ask
down with
about
everything
that.
we throw. Every time we throw to him, man, he comes down with it. And then we got Darian Brown, who has just been definitely very reliable for us whenever we need a first. So it's great. And then obviously can't forget these dudes, the line up front, man. They've been pretty good. I haven't really had too much pressure. I had a little bit of pressure last game to start off, but towards the end of the game, man, there wasn't much pressure at all. And obviously Yendor Mack, right tackle, holding up really strong. We got a freshman right guard. His name is Gage Levier. He's holding up really well too. He's been definitely making his mark on the field. You know, having more experience as these games go, learning, continuing to learn. Mason, as you guys know, he's a big time guy for us. He's staple of our offensive line. He does a lot for us. And we got Brendan and Brandon on the left side, both just doing their things, keeping me up, right? So it's definitely makes my job a lot easier when you got a ton of other things to worry about.
He mentioned Mason Lubold, center, right? And
Mhm.
Yandor Mack. And I just wanted to say, guys, I think that's one of the big differences for Hannah this year too. Is they have a nice size offensive line. They've had some big guys out there before, but just watching their games, I feel like this unit's playing pretty good in front of Torin and giving him time to get the ball out to these weapons and stuff. And it is crazy, Evan. I'll let you. I'm sure you're probably going to talk about the Colson connection a little bit, but just for people to pick up, he mentioned Messiah Mickens and Elias Koch. They all played together on the Hannah Little League team, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been crazy, man, if you guys would all. I know you guys are all friends still. So
Yeah, we're all still friends. We all
you always
talk, you know.
about like what it would have been like if you all stayed together or been able to.
You know, there's been combos that brought up, but everyone's shining, so we're all just happy that each other has been able to continue to be successful, even at the places that we're at now.
There's a lot of schools that are probably happy you guys because, like, imagine if you had like Torin and then like Lex and Elias and Jarrett Kern and Messiah and Rakaya, but you guys would be beat, man. That would be trouble. So
definitely.
Torin, one last thing on that Trinity game, because that was just a pretty crazy one, obviously. You had 3 touchdown passes in regulation, hitting a different receiver every time. One was on 4th and goal from 10 yards out. Another one was 4th and 11, and then 35-yarder to Lex Cyrus in between 2 defenders, just super tight coverage to convert on each and every one of those. Obviously, those are hard throws to make. I know you had to evade some pressure on one of them as well. What's kind of gone into the trust to have in this receiver core and the guys up front to be able to convert in those hard situations?
I mean, we've been working since January in the net every Saturday morning. We just go out there and we're practicing everything. A lot of those things that we do, it's not like it just pops up out of nowhere. Like, we work on that scramble that I had, and then the throw to Josh in the back of the end zone, the first touchdown pass we had. After in Greencastle, we had a similar situation, except it was in the middle of the field, and he ended up actually dropping it. But after that, we worked on it, and we work every situation that could happen in the game, and that one came up, and we've practiced that throw before in practice, and it came up in the game, and he did exactly what we work on, just finding a place in the back of the end zone and sitting back there, and I was able to find him and hit him for the touchdown. And then I mean, early in that game with me and Lex, we had 2 that we had missed on. One was underthrown, the other one was just a step ahead of him. I started off a little slow. I started off slow with a fumble and interception, but Lex had the muff punt. But I had told him, I said, listen, at halftime, I said, man, we're gonna connect when we need to, and it's gonna happen. And I told him just stay ready, because when we need it, it's gonna come up. And that moment sure did come up on 4th and 11 from like the 30 between 2 dudes, and he turned his head at the perfect moment, hit him right in the shoulder. He caught it and just walked into the end zone. No one else there.
When you convert on these 4th and long situations, is that sort of just a testament to the confidence in the offense as a whole, or the chemistry that you have with those guys?
Definitely. I mean, obviously 4th and more than 5 is never fun to go for most people, but when it's 4th and long or 4th and short, any type of 4th down, we always feel like we can get it. And it's like you said, it's just the chemistry that we have. Like, I know there's going to be someone there at that 4th down marker, whether it's Jarrett, I find him somewhere, Josh, you pick the name. I know that they're going to know what to do, and everyone is going to stay calm and just convert the 4th down like it was any other play. We've done that quite a lot this year. We've had quite a few moments on 4th down that we've come up big, and it's just we work on the stuff all the time, and we know where each other's going to be, and just makes it a lot easier on the game nights, and it's super fun to convert those. Very fun.
I wanted to say, guys, he brought up James Colston, and that last name sounds familiar. That's Marcus's nephew, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Have you guys ever got to chop it up with Marcus Colston, any?
So no, we haven't. That would be pretty cool if that happened, but no, we didn't. We haven't been able to. But for James, it's funny. I think this was his second year playing football, and last year, obviously, we knew he was he was a big kid. We knew he could catch, but we didn't know too much about him. And then he proved himself in multiple games, and 7-on-7 season came this past summer, and we saw him make a few grabs, and we were kind of like, whoa, and we were like, we got to get him out there on Friday nights. We just got to give him a chance, because you put that ball anywhere for him, I can guarantee you he's going to come down with it. So
Well, it runs in the blood there, man. So.
Yes, it does. Listen, yes, it does. It's great to have him.
You guys, we talked a lot of football, but I also like to kind of get to know the athlete too, man. And tell us about you, outside of football. Obviously, man, you're smart, man. You came on here with the best setup of anybody. People don't know. He's got the gaming chair going. He's got the headset. He's rocking the headset. You play any games, man?
Oh, man, do I play games? Listen, I love video games. That is probably one of the biggest hobbies I have. I that, and I actually bowl. I enjoy bowling. My dad's actually a pretty good bowler too.
Micah Parsons is a big bowler, guys.
Yes, actually, there's been a few times we were at ABC North Lanes during, I think it was COVID, and he was actually there. And not COVID, the year after COVID. We've actually saw him a few times rocking bowling. He had his nephew, or I think it was his son there, a bunch of people with him. I heard he's a pretty good bowler, but I think I could beat him 100%.
Bowling's electric.
Man. Oh man! See, if Micah heard that, like he would become he's just too competitive. He would be coming for you. I know Micah. Like I have a pretty good relationship with him. Like he would be trying to catch you in Harrisburg, man. And
listen,
and beat
I will put money on me and my dad beating him and whoever else he wants to bring with him. I bet you.
Megan, you got to make a clip of that and then tag Micah because all I gotta say is when Micah comes to town and to beat you in bowling. You guys got to give us the heads up so we could come and like shoot a video of it.
Cover that like the Super Bowl, man.
That would be listen. We go. I know me and my dad are gonna win. We're really good at bowling. So
man,
on us.
I'm just telling you. Look, Micah's a superstar, man. He's good. He's busy. He's flying around the world and playing football. He's one of the best players in the game. But when you call him out, man, I'm just telling you, he's competitive.
Listen, I've seen him bowl a few times. I see some clips. He's a pretty good bowler, but I don't think he could top us. I just don't think so.
What's your highest score?
My highest score, I bowled a 297 one game. I haven't had a 300 yet.
Oh
my dad's bowled 300 a couple times, but I haven't bowled a 300 yet.
So you guys are legit. All right.
He's more legit than me. He bowls a lot more than I do now with football season.
297 is pretty crazy, man.
I'd be lucky if I get 97. So 297 is ridiculous.
I would embarrass myself if I were to try to go against that.
What games you play? What game?
I play Valorant. It's a computer game. I play Valorant. I play Call of Duty. Play a lot of Call of Duty, and I also play a lot of Madden college football. Those are my two games.
I knew it. I was waiting for him to say it.
Listen, before the new college football, me and my dad, we had a dynasty on NCAA 14. He still has a PS3. I've played that game for 10 years, and I've had some moments, let's say, playing that game.
Yeah, I loved that. I mean, I won a couple tournaments. I'm not quite as good in the NBA, but look, man, you gotta hit me up on Twitter when we get off here and send me your gamer tag so I can play you in football. Rymir beat me the other day though, man. And then
he beat you. What team you use?
He was Kansas and I was Tennessee, I think.
Oh, Kansas, that darn quarterback, he can run.
I like their playbook too, man.
Mm-hmm. They have a good playbook, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna play.
He was strapped up.
I'm on the podcast and I'm gonna report about you beating me because I'm sure you'll beat me. But
we need to do like a mid-pen.
Micah's brother crushed
tournament.
Me. I played Terrence, Micah's brother. I played Micah's brother and he crushed me.
Oh.
Rymir just got lucky, and then he went.
All right.
He just got lucky.
All right.
So
listen, college football. Listen, video games are my thing. I'll take anybody in video games. So I'll send you my gamer tag. We can play anytime. I would bet on my skills 100 times out of 100. I
What
love playing video games.
What are you more confident in, the bowling skills or the video game skills?
Video games for sure.
You bowl a
100%.
297 and you're more confident in video games?
Listen.
I can already tell you by the chair
Wow.
and the headset. They got a whole setup going.
Listen, I got clips, man. My teammates, I beat them bad. You should ask Lex about a few of the beatings I've given him in college football, man. Him, Yendor, whoever.
Well, tell him I want all the smoke, and if you guys beat me, I'll plug you on the podcast.
Brian Linder versus the entirety of the Susquehanna Township.
You just gotta drop me your at Sports by B Linder on X. You guys know where I'm at, and then you just drop me your gamer tag, and we'll play one. And then if you guys beat me, I'll tell the truth. I'll get on here and give you. I said Rymir beat me.
All right, that sounds like a plan. I have to get on that.
You got a little lucky though. Well, look, you're a smart dude, man. You look. I know you've been really honing your craft at quarterback, and you got the rest of this year and then next year. But like, what's your plan for the future, man? What are you looking at? Aside from football, what interests you in life, and like, what are you looking to maybe study in school and stuff like that?
So I'm a big computer guy, as you could probably tell, because I got the whole setup here. But I love computers, and I'm also a big science guy. So I want to do data science, which it's a unique type of major, but basically I don't know how to describe it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's using like numbers and data or whatever, and then obviously the science with it. It's coding and software engineering, all that type of stuff. That's my type of interest right there that I enjoy.
I didn't advance much past addition and subtraction, so you guys lost me there.
Fractions are what got me. Never recovered.
Algebra and stuff, man.
No, I don't want to derive another graph in my life.
Science too. Math and science were not my.
The Pythagorean theorem hit me like a bus, man.
Okay, I'll be bye. My fault. My mom came in. She had to talk to me real quick.
You could have told mom to pop home.
She had to go, but I would have. But she had to go do some work.
Well, I can tell you, just I also don't know how to describe data science. And I could tell you're a lot smarter than me. So.
Everyone's very smart in their own ways. Everyone's unique. So one thing that lots of people, someone is smart in, my brain probably doesn't compute it. So we're all unique.
So yeah, you're looking to play at the next level, obviously.
Yes, I definitely would love to play at the next level. That's something I've talked about. Listen, I used to always say as a kid, I always wanted to play football at Stanford. Why Stanford? I don't know. I used to love them in NCAA 14. That was my team back when they had. what was the one running back's name? I think his last name was Love. I forget his name.
Bryce Love.
Yeah, it's Bryce Love. I used to run Power Eye with him all day, and I would just pound that rock. And I always used to say I wanted to go to Stanford to play football. Those are definitely my dreams.
Well, look, man, I think you can get there. You got the talent. You got to be sending them the film.
Yeah.
Definitely. In the next year. I mean, the junior year is big, but the next year and a half or so for you, and this off season is going to be big. So, like, how are you tackling that to try to make to make your name out there and kind of get a couple of these offers on board?
Mm-hmm. Obviously, I go to a lot of different camps. One camp I actually went to last year, I went to Columbia, and they did like a lot of these camps now for quarterbacks. They'll do see how far you can throw the ball.
Yeah.
I definitely threw the ball. I was feeling good that day, and I threw the ball pretty far. And they ever since then they've reached out to me multiple times. I'm actually going up to their game on Saturday versus Dartmouth. That should be exciting. But yeah, I mean, the off season, obviously continuing to work. I would go work on Wednesday nights with Coach Contafio and Chad Henney. They have their thing on Wednesday nights that I go to. They've been so helpful in my career. I've been going to Coach Contafio's stuff since I was probably 10 years old. I think it was once a month or on Sundays. he would have things. I forget it was once a month or I forget. But on Sunday mornings from 8 to 12, used to be out there at the Lenko Field House throwing the football, just sharpening my skills. And recently he has Chad Henne join him to help him out with that stuff. So it's been cool. I've actually gotten to know him pretty well too. Gotten to talk to him. It's been pretty cool, especially because obviously he's Super Bowl champion quarterback. Went to Michigan, so he's a really cool dude.
Yeah.
It's definitely been pretty cool to get to know him. Yeah, just continuing to work in the off season, sharpening my skills, but also staying mentally sharp and working on just seeing things from defenses that I've seen in that past year. I watch a lot of film, have to, just to be able to get that extra edge on the team that you're playing against.
You guys usually have a pretty good group out there with Contafio and Henne too, right? Some pretty talented quarterbacks out there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we have Sebastian. He goes out there. Hayden Johnson used to be out there. The Manheim Township quarterback, now I forget his name, but he's out there. He goes too. I forget his name, but he goes out there too. Him, a couple quarterbacks that are actually going to college. Actually, one of the quarterbacks at Columbia, Xander, he had gone there a couple times. There's a lot of other very talented quarterbacks there. The Manheim Central quarterback has gone. Lots of quarterbacks from throughout Pennsylvania that have gone to those things. It's been pretty cool. Got to talk to a lot of those guys as well.
Getting to work with Contafio has obviously coached up Jim Contafio has really coached up some good quarterbacks throughout the years. I mean, Dwayne Haskins was one of the guys, and there's been a number of other guys. And then obviously Chad Henne, his resume speaks for itself. Evan and Rymir, that would be good to try to get in touch with Henne or Contafio maybe and get out there for a Wednesday session and get some photos and talk to some of these quarterbacks they're working with. It'd be a good story, man. So, well, listen, Torin, man, you got it all put together, man. You're a smart guy. You're balling. Got a lot going for yourself.
I appreciate it.
And you know what? If you don't get Stanford, if you get, wherever you get, the beautiful thing about being a quarterback these days is teams are so quarterback needy that if you're meant to play at the next level, they'll give you a shot. Just look at Tyson Bagent, who was at Shepherd, right? And now he's with the Bears now in his second year. And so if you can play, they'll find you. And definitely you're smart enough to end up at, I think, a pretty good school. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. One quarterback I really like that I've been watching a lot. I had two quarterbacks. I love the Tennessee quarterback, Nico. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. But I also like Cam Ward because he's a similar release to mine. And he also, he didn't just start at Miami. Like he started, he had no stars, no rankings, none of that stuff. Went to Incarnate Ward, which most people can't even tell you where that's at, let alone heard of it. Worked his way up. I think he was at Kansas State, right? Or was it
Washington State?
Washington State. Yes, he was at Washington State, had a great year, and then ended up transferring to Miami, and now they're undefeated balling, and he's, got a pretty good shot at getting to that next level. So, he's someone that I like to look at.
He's gonna be a first round pick, I think, and obviously he's gonna probably be a Heisman finalist as long as they don't implode. So
definitely.
Torin, when you get to your college spot, wherever it may be, you got to get eyes on that club bowling team, man.
Listen, every time, funny you say that, every time we've gone to we go on campus tours on some of the places we go camp at, and every time me and my dad are always looking to see if they have a bowling alley. We actually went to San Diego State, and every student there gets 2 free games of bowling a day. So we were like, whoa.
2 a day?
Yeah. 2 free games. I was like, wow, I could bowl and go play quarterback. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean that would be big.
Yeah.
That's a deal.
We're gonna clip this thing for sure though and tag Micah, see if he responds.
He might. He honestly might.
Man, the Cowboys. He's been banged up. It's the first time I've never seen Micah Parsons hurt. All through high school and stuff, and now he's been banged up the last couple games, and the Cowboys are struggling. So who knows? But man, if he does see it, you might end up playing Micah in the city next year or something. I don't know.
Listen, have the whole town out there to watch. I better get back to practicing if that's gonna happen. Though I can't go out there and just start throwing gutter balls. I can't do that. I got to get out there and practice.
We'll get Sean Simmers shooting photos of the most epic bowling match you've ever seen.
At one time, he was campaigning to let the PBA to let him bowl in events. So
Oh,
we'll see.
snap.
Rymir, you got anything for our guy before we let him go and get back to you guys? Probably got practice today, right?
Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, it's 2:35. So I'll probably get going here after this to practice.
Rymir, you got anything for our guy before we let him go?
No, brother, go to practice. You know what I'm saying?
TD, Torin Evans, tell them how to find you on social media and stuff like that, man.
My Instagram, my @ is Mr. TD Evans. And then my Twitter my @ is TD15 Evans. Go find me on those two places.
Give him a follow if you're a college coach out there. You're looking for a talented quarterback who's obviously smart, got a lot of things going for him. He's putting up some numbers. Check out his film and keep grinding, TD, man. We're excited about you guys. And, you know, we've had some teams make some runs the last couple of years here in the area, and we're still trying to figure out who that team might be for us this year. And you guys, I think, have the talent to maybe put it together and do that here over the next couple of weeks. So keep at it, man.
I appreciate that very much. I thank you guys for letting me come on here.
All right, guys. So that was Torin TD Evans from Susquehanna Township. Guys, what did we learn? What did we learn from talking to TD Evans?
Learned that he means serious business when it comes to bowling. I didn't realize until he said he bowled a 297 and his dad's a 300 that, like, it's about as legit as it gets, folks, bowling. That's what I learned.
Avid gamer. He gonna have to line it up with Brian at some point. And if he beats you, then maybe he can play me. But
whatever.
He got to beat you first.
Whatever, Rymir. Rymir, I'm gonna send you some energy drinks here on payday, and that way maybe you can stay up with the old man and actually give him my rematch one night. So
that'd be lovely. I need some.
I was a young guy like you, man. I don't sleep now, but man, when I was a young guy like you, I was notorious, you know, just working all night and all day. I was a robot, man.
I do my work and I take my behind the bed. That's about it.
You guys, it's like my wife, man. She's been an old woman since I known her. But I don't mean anything negative about it. I always joke with her like, you're an old woman, because when the sun goes down, she's ready to go to sleep.
When 8 p.m. hits.
And meanwhile, when the sun goes down, that's like when I'm like getting going. Like producer Megan, I think, keeps about the same hours I do, because I see her sometimes on Office Slack. I'll be dropping stories in Slack at 4 a.m. and Megan's like, "Oh, we already had that." She did that one time to me. She's like checking stories behind me. I'm like, "Go to sleep, Megan." She's like, "You go to sleep." You know, we're up all night. So, but anyway, well, look, guys, I think he's a super smart kid. I was impressed. He had the best setup of anybody we've ever had on here. This guy come on here in the gamer chair with the headset, had his audio locked in, the camera locked in. You could tell he's been streaming some games online and stuff like that.
It's a mark of a good quarterback. He was extremely prepared for this interview.
Yeah, he's really smart. Can't say that enough.
Yeah.
And he's been a guy that I know has been working on his craft. And it's not just like lip service. Like, we've seen it, like, I would say 2 years ago, sophomore, good player, put up some numbers. He would miss some throws here and there, right? And then last year, he missed fewer throws and put up better numbers. And this year, he's pretty darn good, you know? And he's really been putting it together. He's working with some good quarterback coaches, Jim Catafio and obviously Chad Henne, a Super Bowl winner, longtime NFL vet. Exciting guy, man. That's going to be an exciting team to watch. Rymir, good job getting the guy on here, man.
Of course. Do something. Make my way somehow.
Man, first year, you making those relationships. I'm proud of you, man. You're getting it going, man. Your first year in the mid-Penn's going through. You're doing good, man. Got a new car. Penn Live shelling out the big bucks. Man's already got a new car.
I wouldn't say that.
Big timiness. So, guys, I think we got a podcast. Right? Are we missing anything?
I don't think so.
We got a bunch of stuff on PennLive.com. We're coming up on the last week of the season. I'm sure next week we're going to have a ton of stuff looking forward to playoffs, players to watch. I'm sure we'll have that kind of stuff, big names. some good player features. So, and this week we got a bunch of that stuff too. State rankings, staff picks and predictions, which upon further auditing, producer Megan and Evan, Rymir, yeah, they fudged the numbers a little bit, just like old B. Linder told you last week. Evan was not beating me.
I just want to say,
it was fake
say,
news.
I just got to say one thing, so everyone knows the record's straight. It was a clerical error on Mr. Eric Gepler's part. I'm going to toss him in front of the bus here because little old Evan wakes up and sees, wow, I'm within striking distance of first place. I can win this thing. Whoops, sorry. Actually, there was a mistake, and you're nowhere close to winning now. And I'm like, what? Well, I woke up this morning. I woke up that morning, had breakfast, started my day, same as any day, but with some extra pep in my step because I thought, man, I can do this. And just kidding.
So you know what you learned this week?
I learned that y'all Control-Alt-deleted 3 of my picks.
You learned that old B. Linder is not beneath being petty enough to crush your hopes and dreams in a high school football pick'em.
Hey, but
Evan, you're still closer to first place than Brian is.
That's fake news. It's fake news. Rymir.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm glad this happened because I am all for the integrity of the game. How could I just accept a championship if I were to win the whole thing with a couple of fake picks?
There's something going on in the office, Evan. Rymir, you notice how Evan, he's moving up into pick'em with fake numbers. He wins $40 in free swag at the thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
There's something going on.
That was awesome.
There's a power play being made behind the scenes, and I'm not cool with it.
It's funny. You got something to say about that?
I'm wheeling and dealing these days. I've been moving different.
I'm closer than either of you, so there.
Like I said, hey, Megan, you know now. See, you done messed up because I'm petty enough to go back and start adding all the weeks together on you guys. Just over a high school football pick'em for which there is no actual reward.
The reward is bragging rights to the nth degree.
Exactly. As soon as we got that podcast last week, Rymir, who do you think?
We'll make a trophy.
Who do you think was pulling up the pick'ems and looking at numbers last week? As soon as we got off of there,
was Evan?
No, I was crunching numbers.
Oh, it was you?
Couldn't wait to text him and say, Evan, sorry.
I was getting texts from Brian all day. We're at the Keystone Media Awards. I got another text saying like sending gifs of whatever. It said I'm on to you, and it's like, what the hell is he talking about? And
Evan,
sure enough,
$300 sports jacket showing out at Keystones. I got to get healthy so I can get back out there with you guys.
Got Rymir's new car, my new sports jacket. I won a gift card for the PA Media Group store. It's a $40 code. I'm moving different right now.
Megan got our award for our podcast here, and old Don Sostek.
Don
Sostek.
Don Sostek.
Yeah. So.
Just remember, the only one doing math on this is Eric. So that is your showdown. Who is number one?
See, I've always said, Eric, I'm just going to, you know what?
We'll have to get Torin Evans to do the math here.
Eric, Megan. Eric shouldn't even be allowed to pick him. He sets the line. It's an inherent advantage. Am I wrong, Evan?
I'm not going against Eric Kepler.
Evan, am I wrong, though? If you set the line, you have a built-in advantage. Eric should win every year. He creates the lines. Am I wrong, Rymir?
Yeah, I mean, no, you're not wrong.
Eric's also been covering high school football longer than these two have been alive.
Rymir just moved up the rankings of my top 25 in PennLive.
I used to be that high, Rymir.
Yeah, until he started trying to stab me in the back and manipulate things behind the scenes to bury me and my picks, Rymir.
That's okay.
Well, you guys can check out our picks and predictions too. It's the whole point and how we went down this rabbit hole at PennLive.com for the week. And we have a ton of other stuff there. Make sure you check us out there. Tell them how to find you on Twitter, Rymir.
Rymir Vaughn. That's it.
Well, you got to tweet something interesting now. Evan, tell them how to find you on Twitter.
Evan Wheaton. Just my name. Keep it simple.
I'm at Sports by B Linder at Twitter. Make sure you give us a follow. I'll try to tweet something interesting myself. And till next week, we'll see you then.